Merry Christmas from Manchester United. Yes, yet again, they've bottled it. Yet again, they lose to a team in the relegation battle. I mean, I get it. They've got a new manager bounce. But why is it that every other team that sacks their manager gets a new manager bounce? Where's our new manager bounce? Like, we're still relatively new in the Ruben Amorim system. These players are supposed to be fighting for the badge, fighting for the manager, to be the star players in this new system, to be given a chance. And not one player, barring probably 2 or 3, have took that opportunity. Same players, down in tools, same players, liabilities. It's flooded with toxicity. It's flooded with the curse of Manchester United. I don't know what we can expect as fans anymore. You can beat City a few weeks ago, but you can lose a team that's sitting 18th in the league. And I don't care about the new manager bounce, because Wolves definitely deserved their win today. At no point did Manchester United, until towards the end of the game, looked like scoring today. The first half was an absolute boring, piss poor shambles of a performance. And that goal for Kuna's first goal, I'm not being funny, that corner is an absolute embarrassment. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say it's a foul on Andre Onana. I mean, I get it. The 2 Wolves player blocking me. It looks like someone's go-to Pornhub search. Like, they've got 2 players absolutely in front of Andre Onana. It's absolutely piss poor, but he can't reach the ball. Whether that's because they were stopping him, I don't know. But at the same time, I don't know what our set-piece routine is, but this isn't becoming an absolute joke. 4 players on the front post, not marking a single player. They don't even, this has happened twice now in the space of 2 weeks. Against Spurs with Heung-min Son, tonight with Matheus Cunha. And you know what, Matheus Cunha, if that's your audition for Manchester United, I am sold. Sign you up. Replace him with that fraud Bruno Fernandes that's supposed to be wannabe captain. The player we're supposed to be looking at. The player that's supposed to be leading us under the new Amorim era. 3 red cards he's had this season. Now, yeah, that's his first one under Ruben Amorim. But this season, his mentality, his attitude has been piss poor. He's not been the Bruno Fernandes that we know and love. And I generally think when he talked to the Players' Tribune before the FA Cup final last season, I generally thought he was going to be going in the summer. And that's why he said that massive message about get behind us one more time. You're captain, Bruno Fernandes. It was like a farewell message, and he didn't get sold because either no one was interested in him or the wages were too high and there was some deal being done behind the scenes, or Eric Ten Hag convinced him to say. I have no idea. But Bruno has not been the captain, the player that I love this season, and it's becoming infuriating almost. And yes, he was the hero almost against Man City when he scored that penalty to get us back in the game. And he does have brilliant moments. But at the same time, we need to start talking about him, because when Bruno Fernandes doesn't score or make an assist, you're genuinely looking at what does he actually do. I don't think he can play as that advanced 10. I think he needs to be playing in that midfield too alongside UGARTE, because that UGARTE seems to be locked down as that holding midfielder, that ball-winning midfielder in this Amorim system. But again, he suspended as well against Newcastle. So probably for me, our 2 best players, apart from Bruno Fernandes obviously, but Bruno is an important player for us, not our best player, but he's an important player for us, and UGARTE has been our player of the season almost. They're suspended against Newcastle, who have gone and scored, 11 goals in their last 3 games? We are going to get absolutely dicked, bent over, slap on the arse by Eddie Howe's Toon Army on Monday. We are going to get absolutely embarrassed. I am going to go to the game. Obviously, I've got my season ticket. But at the same time, I am not looking forward to Monday night, because you know what? It would be typical United, actually, to get a fucking win. And you know what? I'll be over the moon. But at the same time, maybe we can say Happy New Year instead of Merry Christmas, because United have ruined my fucking Christmas or ruined my Boxing Day. But I just don't understand the mentality of these players. Rasmus Højlund, supposed to be a fast, energetic, physical, broad striker. He was like a scarecrow today. He was absolutely non-existent. And I'm not going to stick up for Rasmus Højlund, because people saying, oh, he doesn't get enough chances, he doesn't receive the service. I'm not being funny, but there's been, at least in the last 3 or 4 games, he has been handed about 6 key chances and has made nowhere near good enough connection on the ball. So there have been chances. Amad Diallo made a brilliant cross to him today and he was nowhere near it. Bruno Fernandes against Nottingham Forest, or you've got Bruno Fernandes when he made that chance against Spurs in the Carabao Cup. It's just an absolute shambles at the moment. And there's so many players that need calling out, and certain players you can look at and be like, you know what, are you good enough to step up under Ruben Amorim? And there's a lot of players where I'm there like, there's not one player, probably apart from Amad Diallo or UGARTE, that have that fire in the belly, that fight for the badge, that want to do well. And Amad Diallo has been brilliant for us since he's been given chances, but he's been found out already. And literally, it's very simple. The coaches are telling two players to man-mark him constantly. And what should be happening from either on-field players, like mental thinking and intelligence, or Ruben Amorim, tactically, should be saying to one of our players or two players, one of you be behind Amad at all times, one of you be in front or beside Amad at all times, so he has an option to pass to. Amad Diallo is stuck there, surrounded by two players in Wolves shirts, trying to dribble in between him because no player's there to support him. He can't do it by himself. He's not bloody Messi from 2010. Like, he's a young lad who's only 22, finding his feet in a very tough side under a new manager. And he's not... Amad Diallo, for me, is brilliant. He's technically gifted. He's absolutely brilliant, in my opinion. But, not being funny, you can't expect him to do everything. Because, like I said, apart from him and UGARTE, there is no spark in the players' eyes. They haven't got the eye of the tiger. And that's not because I've got a Rocky tattoo. That's literally just because the hunger and the desire to win a game. Like, it's just mind-boggling. And where's the inspiration from the captain, Bruno Fernandes? He was just, again, third red card this season. He's not the player he once was, and I really need to start talking about if he's a liability or not. Because like I said, if he doesn't score, if he doesn't assist, what does he offer? It's a massive question looming over his head. But he's suspended again for Newcastle, so whatever. But Andre Onana, we need to talk about him as well, because I don't even know if I've already spoke about it, but that goal was just ridiculous. It was just absolutely pathetic. And I'm deflated. I don't know what to rant about. I don't know who to rant about. We just need a clear out. And I'm blaming Erik ten Hag on this because these were his players. These players were brought in to suit his system, and he fucking failed. At least Amorim's trying to get the best out of a bunch of shit. Like, you can't polish a turd. And that's what United have been. I'm not going to sit here and cry about, oh, United have been declining for over a decade since Sir Alex Ferguson left. So many players were signed under David Moyes, Van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Erik ten Hag. Erik ten Hag is the most recent manager to get sacked. Erik ten Hag is the most recent manager to have the most players in this squad. These are his players. These are majority of his squad. And he has absolutely turned us into a laughingstock circus. Ruben Amorim, I pray to Ineos. I know I'm asking for a late Christmas present, but please, Ineos, in the January transfer window, just try and sign someone. If we can somehow sign Dani Olmo from Barcelona, who's had a whole issue with getting registered for Barcelona, that would be a miracle, because he would go straight in the starting 11. He would be the Bruno Fernandes replacement for me. Matheus Cunha as well. He won't sign probably till summer, but again, a brilliant, brilliant player. And I'm going to make a video on it. You know what? I'm going to make a video this week talking about hidden gems in the Premier League that Manchester United need to sign that can make their squad better, because we need to start targeting teams in the Premier League that have got good players that need to join bigger clubs. Now, these sort of certain players that I'm thinking of are players from Bournemouth, Wolves. But I'm not being funny. Bournemouth battered us, and so did Wolves. And I'm not being funny, but then players really look and be like, I'm not going to Manchester United. Like, they're shit. Why would I go there? Like, do you know what I mean? I genuinely think that's the reputation Manchester United have got. And unless we've got Champions League football to attract these big stars or attract them with big wages, which Ineos aren't going to be doing, we don't have anything to offer these players. I'm generally going to say this, and it's not on Ruben Amorim, but I generally think that if Manchester United don't get Europe this season, would be the best possible outcome. Try and win a trophy if we can. But at the end of the day, we just need to try our best to not get Europe, to be honest. Just try and have that season, have that reset period. Because there's teams in Europe that you look at and be like, who are they? Who are Bordeaux Glimt? Like, who are they? And they gave us a tough game. Like, who are fucking who was that Dutch team? I don't even know what the name was, but we drew with them. Like, do you know what I mean? There's so many teams that you expect to win because we're Manchester United, and we lose or draw or make a fool of ourselves. It's not on. And being Manchester United or we're Man United hasn't counted for shit for the last decade. We are not Manchester United. These spoiled, overprivileged older fans who watched the glory days under Fergie, this is not the team anymore. We have been failing for over a decade. We have been hit with shit. We've had so many eras, so many managers, and no one can get us back to Fergie, and that just keeps Sir Alex on the pedestal because of how great he was and how great of a manager and all the success he brought to the club. But I'm not being funny. We're not Manchester United. We're a sleeping giant. Yes, we are still Manchester United. But we are literally locked in the closet at the moment. We're a sleeping giant, like I said. But this whole we're Manchester United, we can beat Bournemouth, we can beat Wolves. Do these fans not understand the quality of the Premier League anymore? There's not one bad team in the Premier League. Like, yes, you'll see thrashings, you'll see teams, but anyone on their day can beat anyone, and that's the way it goes in the Premier League. And that's why it's the toughest league in the world, in my opinion. But yeah, fans are becoming an issue as well. Like I said, overprivileged older fans and the young Twitter bashers as well. These fans on faceless accounts who put themselves as parody accounts or not affiliated with Marcus Rashford or Bruno Fernandes or Ruben Amorim or UGARTE or anyone like that. These faceless bellends who don't know what it means to support Manchester United, who just spout negativity shit on Twitter. Like, I hate Twitter. I'm on the platform, I'll admit it, but it's very rare to see a sensible, speaking, talking Manchester United fan. And you get all these fans who say, Marcus Rashford should never play for my club again. Bruno Fernandes is an absolute waste. What a waste of a captain. Like, I'm not being funny. You can criticise players. You can criticise Bruno Fernandes for his mentality and his piss poor performances recently. You can criticise Marcus Rashford for his mentality and the attitude he's shown towards the club recently. But the slander they get, the death threats as well that they get, is unacceptable. And I'll always stick up for the players. I'll always support this club. And every single game we go into, I'll be like, you know what? Wipe the slate clean. It's a new game, new day. We know these players can turn up on their day. And it's like I said, anyone could beat anyone on their day. It's just finding that consistency. And United proved it. We can beat City. We can beat... Who else can we beat? I don't fucking know at the moment, to be honest. But we've got a very tough week ahead, or next few weeks of it up ahead. Newcastle Monday, Liverpool next Sunday, and Arsenal the week after. God help us. Merry fucking Christmas. Thank you, Manchester United. Night-night. Well, not night-night, whatever.